Namaste, one and all. This is Ambika Hanchate from Karnataka, India. Today I am going to talk about the theme of interdisciplinary research for a sustainable future on Global Edu-conclave 2025. So let's begin about the sustainable development. So it is a framework for attaining human development ambitions with simultaneously conserving the ability of natural system to produce the natural assets and ecosystem services on which global economy and society rely on. The targeted outcome is a state of society in which living circumstances and resources are utilized to fulfill human needs without jeopardizing the natural system's integrity and stability. In a simple words, we can say sustainable development is the concept of development in which, while making development policies, care is taken that not only the present needs of human beings are met, but the needs of human beings can be ensured for eternity. So there is a special emphasis on the protection of the natural environment, and there are three major key components to concept the sustainable development. In that, first one, growth of the economy, and the second one is environmental protection and stewardship, and the third thing is inclusion in society. In the sustainable development is all about fulfilling the diversity requirement of various communities in order to improve everyone's quality of life and future prospects. And one of the finest example of sustainable development is using wind energy to generate electricity for houses, workplaces and other structures as well as to pump water. Okay, wind is after all a free resources, but another best example also we can see that is the solar energy. In a most places, there is an endless source of solar energy. Establishing a PV solar system allows you to use the sun's energy to replace or enhance grid electricity without having to use a non-renewable resources. So this type of energy resources are not only sustainable, but it also give us a continuous green energy without harming the environment. So sustainable development overall it refers to the practice of meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It involves finding a balance between economic growth, social development as well as environmental protection. And let's look at about the criteria for a sustainable development. So it is a concept that seeks to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of a future generation to meet their own need that already we have looked at here. But it involves finding the balance between of whatever the economical, social and environmental goals to create a harmonious and a lasting system. So the key principles of sustainable development includes encourages the use of resources in a way that promotes long-term economical growth without depleting natural resources or harming the environment. So this often involves adopting the practices that support stable employment, fair wages and equitable distribution of health. And the second one is focuses on improving the quality of life for all individuals and promoting social equality. So this includes consideration for health, education, human rights and community well-being. So sustainable development seeks to ensure that the benefit of a progress are shared by everyone. And the third thing is recognizes the finite nature of earth's resources and aims to minimize negative impacts on ecosystem and biodiversity. So this involves promoting conservations, reducing pollution and adopting eco-friendly practices to preserve the environment for a future generation. And the fourth one is emphasizes the responsibility of the current generation to leave a legacy that does not compromises the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So this principle underscores the importance of long-term thinking and planning in a decision-making processes. And the fifth one and the last one is involves engaging and empowering communities, stakeholders and individuals in the decision making process by including diverse perspectives. Sustainable development aims to create solutions that are more inclusive, effective and culturally sensitive. So therefore sustainable development always seeks to meet present needs without compromising the ability, as well as it is engaging the communities in a decision making for a lasting and harmonious system. And now we'll look at the insights on the sustainable development goals in a 2030, that how it meets and what all the criteria it should be met. And this arrangement denotes a significant achievement in putting our reality a comprehensive and a sustainable courses. In that, India was one of the 193 Indian nations parts states to receive the SDGs and submit itself as a partner to meet the 2030 plan for a sustainable terms of event. And Niti Aayog is also the public body fundamentally answerable for executing the SDGs in India, that whatever we have done and we are going to plan for to meet the 2030 SDGs. And in India's progress, let's see in the few point. India has assumed a significant part in molding the SDGs, and the country's public turn of event goals are reflected in the SDGs. In a 2017 also we can see sustainable development goal list. India has taken the position in a 116 out of 157 nations, and the SDG index positions nations it's dependent on their exhibition across the 17 SDGs. In health, we can see in the health category, India has always focused on reinforcing well-being framework as a non-debatable methodology towards accomplishing SDGs. In synergizing joint effort with the BRICS nation, particularly through the BRICS framework for joint effort on strategic projects in health. In a public health policy also in the 2017, it is received by India is lined up with the SDG 3 targets, and a public health mission also we had accomplished about SDG 3rd. And the general immunization progress that we can say in a UIP and a mission Indraprastha pointed towards growing inclusion by the coming to the unreached, as well as India has gained a critical headway on fundamental well-being markers like a infant mortality rate, immunization inclusion, and maternal mortality rate. In the climate action also we can see advancing green drivers like interest in environmental friendly power, permitting corporate to issue some bondings as well as the green bonds and so forth also, and approving Paris deals as well as the active support in Kigali agreement. And in the energy also we can see by India is the fourth biggest in a wind power limit as well as the fast expansion in a solar system energy creations. Furthermore, decline in the expense of unit sunlight based force. And in the industry category, we can see further developing simplicity of working together, advancing startups, and India is climbing in a global seriousness index with 39th position. And along with that, we can see some concerns and challenges also in stages that what we are facing nowadays in the rising patterns of position patriotism and protectionism block the execution of the goals. And the second one is industrialized nations are not filling in as a good examples. And the third point is many of the most extravagant nations are not even close to accomplishing the worldwide strategy destinations. Yet, in addition, disintegrate the execution interaction for a more unfortunate nations due to negative overflow impacts. And the fourth one is one of the best snacks to accomplishing the worldwide goals are terrible showing in regards to sustainable consumption and creations, as well as lack of the valid information will be significant road obstructions for India in accomplishing the worldwide goals, as well as the government of India has scaled back spending for the social area. According to Accessible Insight, India presently has just 5% of the assets needed to execute the SDGs. So this is all overall about my sustainable development future theme related opinion that whatever I delivered, it's all about my acknowledgement as well as I referred a few of the things as well as the notes. Anyhow, once again, thank you I2OR for giving this wonderful opportunity, and thank you so much for delivering my words. Thank you so much.